Putin does not have enough soldiers for the war against Ukraine. In order to make up for losses on the battlefield after a failed attempt to take Kyiv in 3 days, Russia redeployed the 11th Army Corps from Kaliningrad to Ukraine this spring. There it served a strategic purpose, being between two NATO countries, Poland and Lithuania. But having got to the front in the Kharkiv region, according to Forbes, it was completely defeated by the armed forces of Ukraine.
The corps, sandwiched between two NATO countries along a strategic sea, was supposed to give Russian forces an advantage in a global war. Instead, it became cannon fodder for a Ukrainian army that on paper was weaker than the Russian army was. Now Kaliningrad is all but defenseless, and the threat the regional troops once posed to NATO has evaporated. From Forbes article.
According to Forbes, the 11th Army Corps consisted of at least 12,000 soldiers. It consisted of a motorized division, a separate motorized regiment, artillery, air defense troops and support units. The 11th Army Corps failed during the counteroffensive of the armed forces of Ukraine.
Some Russian units were hit hard by the Ukrainian offensive, including the Russian 11th Army Corps and the 1st Guards Tank Army. It will probably take Russia several years to restore these capabilities. From the message on the website of the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington. The 11th Army Corps was supposed to defend Kaliningrad and threaten NATO's eastern front. Now it can do neither. From Forbes article.
Having lost a combat-ready army during the 8 months of the war with Ukraine, the Kremlin is now trying, in addition to mobilization, to recruit former opponents. It is about the Afghan special forces, who were trained by instructors from the United States and Great Britain during the war with the Taliban. Foreign policy writes that members of the elite commando corps of the National Army of Afghanistan, after the victory of the Taliban movement, are forced to hide, fearing reprisals.
Some former commanders report being contacted on WhatsApp and Signal with offers to join what some experts referred to as a Russian Foreign Legion to fight in Ukraine. News of the recruitment efforts has caused alarm in Afghanistan's former military and security circles, with members saying up to 10,000 former commanders could be amenable to the Russian offers. From Foreign Policy article.
According to US intelligence, there may be between 20,000 and 30,000 commandos in Afghanistan. The Russian recruiters from the Wagner private military company began to turn to them with proposals.
It is not difficult. They are waiting for work for $3 to $4 a day in Pakistan or Iran, or $10 a day in Turkey. And if Wagner or any other intelligence services come to a guy and offer $1,000 to be a fighting man again, they won't reject it. And if you find one guy to recruit, he can get half his old unit to join up because they are like brothers. And pretty soon you've got a whole platoon. From Foreign Policy article.
The fact that Russia is recruiting foreign mercenaries to participate in the war against Ukraine was previously reported by the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. According to them, the recruitment of militants by the Russian leadership continues in one of the countries of the Middle East. Reported by Serhiy Kulyas, Victoria Senko, UATV News.